Hi guys, welcome to this new unit number 7 from the pre-intermediate level number 10. So, in this unit you will learn to, number 1, describe purpose, and number 2, give suggestions. So let's jump into the first part, this first lesson. And as you can see, we have infinitives to describe a purpose. So what is this? Infinitives to describe a purpose. Well, in this case, infinitives are marked in bold. Remember that infinitives are verbs which have the word to. To plus the action. To connect, to chat, to take. Okay? And the second part, to describe a purpose, means that you're going to give information and the reasons why you use, why it's necessary to have or to own any kind of object. Okay? So, as you can see in these examples, we have phone or smartphones. Okay? So we have the object, phone or smartphones, and then we have to describe the purpose. Okay, so in this case we have, again, in the same in the three examples we have smartphones, and then depending on each example we're going to give the purpose of using or having a phone. For example, number 1, I use my phone. Why? To connect in social networks. Okay, I use my phone. Okay, what is the purpose? The purpose to connect in social networks. Number 2, some people use smartphones. Okay, that's the first part. And the purpose? Okay, well, to chat online. That is the purpose. Propósito. And number 3, smartphones are commonly used. What is the purpose? To connect to social networks and take pictures. So as you can see, it's not necessary to repeat the infinitive. In this case, we could also eliminate it because we already have it here at the beginning, but you can also use it here. Smartphones are commonly used to connect to social networks and to take pictures. Okay? So as you can see, we have infinitives. Okay? To connect, to chat, to take, and then we're describing the purpose. Okay? Describiendo el propósito. ¿Cuál es el propósito de usar un smartphone? Okay? Purpose number 1, to connect in social networks. Purpose number 2, to chat online. And purpose number 3, to connect to social networks and to take pictures. Okay? So, we'll continue with the second slide, and it's exactly the same information, but instead of using infinitives, we're going to be using gerunds. Now, as you can see, every time that we use an ing form, as you can see, they're exactly the same examples, but here with gerunds, we want to use for instead of to. Alright? So remember, here we had I use my phone to connect in social networks. Here we have I use my phone for connecting in social networks. So it's the same idea. We have gerunds. All of them have the ing. And we're describing a purpose. Estamos dando la razón o el propósito de algún objeto que estemos describiendo, por ejemplo, smartphones en este caso, y estamos dando el propósito, su razón. Okay? So, I use my phone for connecting in social networks. Number 2, some people use smartphones for chatting online. And number 3, smartphones are commonly used for connecting to social networks and taking pictures. Alright? So every time you want to give reasons, purpose, information about a specific object such as smartphones, Well, you can use these examples to describe that purpose. Okay, remember we have the infinitive to plus the action to connect, the purpose in social networks or to connect in social networks, to chat online, or to connect to social networks and take pictures. You could also use gerunds. Just be careful. Remember, with infinitives, we have to and then the base form, right? These are examples of infinitives. But gerunds, it has to be used for. You cannot say to connecting. That would be incorrect. For connecting, for chatting, for connecting, for taking. All right? So that's the difference. The use of for plus the ing or the use of to as the infinitive. Okay? The second part of this unit has to do with imperatives with infinitives for suggestions. So maybe it sounds a little bit confusing, but basically what we want to focus on are suggestions. Okay? So imagine, again, let's return to the topic about smartphones. Okay? So it's the same idea, smartphones. And in this case, imagine Jane. Okay? Jane has a very old phone and she wants to buy a new smartphone. So maybe your name is John, and you want to give suggestions, sugerencias, in this case to Jane, and you want to give her some advice, some information, some tips, some suggestions about the things that she should consider to buy a new smartphone. Okay, and we have 5 specific expressions. Be sure to, asegúrate, make sure to, asegúrate. In Spanish they're very similar. Remember to, recuerda, don't forget to, no olvides, try not to, trata de no. Okay, so as you can see, all of these expressions refer to imperatives, right? Be sure to, asegúrate, make sure to, asegúrate, remember to, recuerda, don't forget to, no olvides, try not to, intenta no, and all of these are imperative, right? In this case, we're going to combine them with infinitives for suggestions. So as you can see, all of them have to check, to compare, to read, to test, to buy. All right, so all of these are infinitives, right? Very similar to the ones we saw here. So it's important that you make the combination of an imperative with an infinitive like here. Okay, so the example. Be sure to check the storage and camera pixels. Make sure to compare prices in different stores. Remember to read reviews online. Don't forget to test it before you buy it. And try not to buy from online stores. So imagine John giving this information to Jane so she can make the best decision to buy a smartphone because you are giving suggestions. Okay, suggestions with imperatives. These are the imperatives, and the infinitives, all of them have to, and all of these are examples of infinitives. Okay, so that's the end of this first lesson. I will see you for lesson number 2 and lesson number 3 about these 2 lessons. All right. Well, have a nice day, and I will see you later.